morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, we're looking at a new Heracross card. A very interesting new Heracross card. Now, just like the Meganium we looked at recently, the lovely 2new1223 has given us a translation here, and the equally lovely Antoine Boulay has in fact confirmed that the translation is correct. So what do we have in terms of Heracross here? Well, starting off, we got 120 HP Pokemon, which, as I've said on a number of occasions, is far from ideal. We don't love 120 HP. Just going to be honest with you there. We like 130 HP. 120 HP means Zoroark and Golisopod and a whole bunch of other stuff can KO, whereas 130 would keep you out of it. So we're not loving that to begin with here. Retreat cost of 2 means you cannot use Escape Board post-rotation to get free retreat. Still hate saying that card's name. Weakness to fire. It's kind of nice, to be perfectly honest with you. Like I said in the Meganium video, yeah, we've got these 2 new Victinis, and yeah, they both do work great with counter energy, but outside of that, there's not really much to be scared of in terms of fire. The other stuff's just going to be KOing you anyway, Turtonator. As for being a grass Pokemon, you are a basic, so Ether Paradise Conservation Area can give you a bit more bulk, though people don't tend to play that because Field Blower will remove it before you really get the benefit of it. And you're hitting weakness against stuff like Lycanroc and Lapras, which is actually really kind of fun. So, with all of the basics out there, and there's some good stuff to like about it. Oh yeah, and I really should mention Life Forest Prism Star, which just remains amazing and brilliant, and I love it. With all of that out there, is the card actually any good? Well, for the first attack, we don't need no translation, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I know that's a double negative, but we still don't need no translation. 1 colorless energy, 20 damage. It's a starter for 10 attack. Now, over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/PTCGRadio, I've been playing some proper old school trading card game on the Game Boy. I'm going to be uploading some videos on this channel soon, but do come and join me for the streams. And back then, you find something like a Hitmonchan doing 20 for a single energy, and you're like, whoa, that's awesome. Nowadays, it's not great. Now, the one saving grace here is you add a choice band, it goes up to 50. You add a weakness, and it goes up to 100. And then something like Lapras or Lycanroc will be 2-hit KO'd. Cool. And Lycanroc actually won't KO you back unless they've got Diancie Prism Star, but remember they can only actually play one of them per game. So if it's prized or already gone or they can't find it, although with Brook the Hill, they should always be able to find it. But even so, if they don't have it, they won't KO you back. And as for Lapras, it takes some free energy to KO you. Whereas you can be doing this the first turn that you can attack. So this first attack, there is potential here in terms of you've got just enough bulk to survive probably against some Pokemon you're hitting for weakness while you're 2-hit KOing. It's fine, but it's not great. The second attack, however, that makes me a rather happy wussy. 30 damage for 2 energy, not particularly impressive. But if you have any stage 2 Pokemon on your bench, this attack does 90 more damage. Now we're doing 120 for 2 energy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are absolutely liking it. Now, don't get me wrong, stuff like Zoroark and Golisopod, they do 120 for 1 energy attachment. For Zoroark, it's double colorless energy, but it's still 1 energy attachment. You're doing 120 for 2. Now, to be fair, if you're behind on prizes, counter energy says hello, and at that point counter energy is actually awesome because it means that you've got a great grass attacker. Now, as it stands at the moment, my go-to grass Pokemon with counter energy is the Shaman from Shining Legends, which weirdly enough does the exact same damage, 30 base 120 if it all works out. You have to have had a Pokemon KO'd by damage from your opponent's attack during the previous turn. So, as long as you've got a stage 2 out, this is going to be easier to use with Heracross than Shaman's attack is. The problem is, if you're using a counter energy deck, you want stuff like Victini, you want stuff like Shaman, you want stuff like Keldeo. What do they all have in common? They're all basic Pokemon. So, I love this attack with counter energy hitting for weakness, and I like it more than Shaman, which at the moment is the best option we've got, with the gigantic caveat that you've got to have a stage 2 Pokemon on your bench. That's not ideal. Now, the one that really swings to mind beautifully here for me is Swampert. Swampert is a stage 2, and Swampert's got an insane ability, which allows you to discard a card from your hand and draw 3 cards, and even though Hydro Pump does more damage if you attach water energy, it's actually a great water attack if you're hitting for weakness, because against a non-GX you're hitting 160, which is about as much as you'd ever really want to. And against a GX with a choice band, you're hitting 220, and stuff like Turtonator's going down. Alright, Incineroar's not, but as much as I want to pretend, the Fire Incineroar's not too good. The Darkness, on which we did a video yesterday, that, ladies and gentlemen, is a very different proposition indeed. So, maybe this can work beautifully with Swampert. And then you've got Swampert as a water attacker, and you've got this as a grass attacker. But the problem is, with this attack from Heracross, you've got to be hitting for weakness. Because don't get me wrong, it's a decent attack. But if you're not hitting for weakness, you're not really hitting the numbers. So remember earlier in the video when I talked about Heracross having 120 HP? Wouldn't you rather it had 130? Well, Heracross also is one of those Pokemon that does 120. So if you find yourself coming up against a Registeel, for instance, you're not getting a KO because they've got 130 HP rather than 120. You're just not really hitting the numbers. Now, I suppose with a Choice Band and a Professor Kukui, then you can be getting 170 and KOing a Tapu Lele, but that's kind of awkward. And I've said it before on many videos, I'll say it before on a bunch more. We've got the promo Lurantis. It lets you do an extra 20 damage. It's too gosh darned awkward. I just don't see it working out. And that's a pain, right? I just don't think you're going to use Lurantis promo here. And I think as much as I talk about Kukui and Choice Band as an option, you've got to understand that it's awkward. I've seen plenty of players pull off multi-switch Choice Band Kukui strong energy on the same turn. It doesn't mean it's not possible. It just means that you're not going to be able to do it all that often. And to be fair, most of those players were playing Zoroark decks, which makes things a heck of a lot easier because you've got trade. The attack doesn't quite do enough damage. And look, there's going to be plenty of non-GXs that you do KO, from Tapu Koko to Latios, both of which are seeing quite a lot of play. Pretty much all your evolving Pokemon are going to go down here. Curlier, not a problem. Curlier goes down. Alolan Vulpix, not a problem. It goes down. Heck, with a Choice Band, we can even keep picking on Marshadow as the GX with the lowest HP in the game. And like I've said, if you're hitting for weakness, then you're absolutely fine. Lapras, Lycanroc. Even if somebody comes along with more than 240 HP, because some Pokemon have 250, heck, Primarina has a weakness to grass and 250, but you can still use a Choice Band, and that's like the only Pokemon you won't KO with weakness. So essentially then, Heracross fits a niche, and it's a very small niche if you're American. Essentially here, you need to be playing a Stage 2 deck, or at least a deck with a Stage 2 in. And you need to be playing either Grass Energy or Counter Energy, and you need to be against either a non-GX that isn't that big, or a GX with weakness. That's awkward, ladies and gentlemen, by any stretch of the imagination. But it's still got potential, so I'm giving it 3 wassies. Because you know what? There's going to be plenty of decks where it doesn't fit. But the reality is there are some decks where it will fit, and in those decks, it's going to be great. But I want to hear from you guys. Are you buying Heracross? Do you think it's good? Or do you think it's too gosh darned awkward and will never actually work? However you feel about this, I want to hear from you. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, but remember the rule, ladies and gentlemen. Do be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/TheWassy. patreon.com/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.